Threshold. First pattern noticed. 2 reports, the same small details circled in red. The first thread that tells you a pattern might be forming. A new pin lands on the map, a first geographic cluster, and a gap on the timeline that doesn't fit yet. The witness adds a detail that shifts the picture, and a media clipping sits on the wall saying the opposite. 3 victims now, red threads tightening on the board. And a family photo on your desk makes the choice personal. The chain of custody is intact, but the cold leads pile grows. Bureaucratic lag that can hide or reveal truth. The behavioral analyst points to a signature pattern. One more layer in the contradiction matrix you're assembling. Geographic profiling lights up a potential escalation zone, but the press is already asking for answers. Marked transcripts and time-stamped recordings begin to line up, narrowing the window of events. 10 incidents mapped, the pattern is clear, but the jurisdiction handoff introduces legal risk if handled wrong. Dissent, gathering threads. A 12th interview drops a detail that points toward a family connection. The moral stakes rise. Headlines pile up, public myth colliding with your chain of custody evidence. The ethics document outlines protocol, but your partner's silence measures the personal cost of following the pattern. 15 pins now. The cluster tightens, and the cold leads audit reveals several dead ends. The media liaison brings pressure into the room. Every headline is another force pushing for a premature answer. The evidence backlog swells, standard processing times stretch, and with them, the chance of leaks. A family testimony adds to the pattern, but it contradicts earlier witness accounts in the binder. 5 shared factors now on the victimology grid. Each one pulls the pattern tighter, while the moral dilemma looms. The 20th piece forces a choice: hand it off and risk harm, or stall to shield someone. The memo is nearly final. The 21st link confirms the pattern, but a gap in the chain of custody could let information leak. A new clipping lands on the wall. Media pressure intensifies, contradicting the timeline on your board.
The evidence is clear. We don't have a choice.
Crossroads, the moral dilemma.
Submit this. It implicates the wrong person.
Envelope 24 shows family complicity. Your duty and your protection instincts clash in one moment. The ethics review lays out the procedure, and the risk index makes clear how dangerous an early disclosure could be. Processing delays stack up. Each envelope is a reminder that time itself changes the stakes. Their testimony deepens the contradiction. What they say doesn't fit the geographic pattern you've mapped. The media team presses for a narrative. Every public headline tries to outrun the facts in your binder. The victimology grid lines up. 5 common factors, and the moral cost of each becomes heavier. 30 incidents mapped. The pattern is undeniable, but revealing it now could have legal consequences. Forensic confirmation arrives. Behavioral evidence supports the pattern, yet the timeline gap still threatens a leak. The handoff begins, but documented family involvement forces you to pause and weigh the next step. Geographic clusters tighten. Each pin is a closer step towards the network, but the dilemma stays unresolved. You decide: proceed with the handoff despite the family risk, or delay to protect them. The memo is finalized in that breath. You tell your partner. Their silence marks the cost, evidence stacked like a ledger of complicity. The report is completed, the handoff set in motion, and Stage 4 prepares to unspool the consequences. Underworld reckoning, facing the network. Presenting the case means exposing connections. Each new line on the map ties the network to power and consequence. The media cycle turns. The truth unsettles old narratives, and a family member reels as headlines shift. The backlog clears in the lab. Processing catches up, but now the revealed complicity carries weight. You map the network's nodes. Synchronized timelines show coordinated actions, each pin a legal lever. Heat zones tighten around key locations. The network's operational bases come into focus, and remaining gaps show where to look next. Media pressure spikes. You must balance public accountability with the risk of breaching internal procedure. The false confession risk index flags 3 possible leaks, complicating any decision to wait or to rush. Each red thread ties into wider social consequences. The moral calculus of exposure versus protection widens. The informant supplies 2 new nodes, but documented complicity forces you to rethink the timing of any handoff. Report submitted. The network faces legal action, and you begin to own the personal fallout of revealing the truth. Aftermath, bearing consequences. The consequences arrive at your door. Strained family ties and stacks of evidence that won't let you forget. The victimology grid now records aftermath impacts, a ledger of harm and the lessons of the threshold between duty and complicity. Your partner confirms closure on 35 cases, but the obsession with unresolved patterns lingers in the cold leads file. The internal review names 2 procedural lapses, forcing you to own the choice to delay exposure for familial protection. An emptier corkboard signals an end, but the geographic lessons remain for the next pattern seeker. At home, silence becomes a verdict. Every timeline strip a weight you will carry forward. The case closes, but the echo of the pattern remains, a reminder that evidence must outlast rumor, even at personal cost.